Look at this. Have a go at him. Look at the bands on him, the yellows. Oh, it's stunning. That is a broad-headed snake right there. Check it out. Oh, look at that. Oh my days, bro. That is so sick. That's so cool. They've got so many enclosures filled with them. That's sick. Check it out. How sick is that? There's another one there as well. There's two. The stuttering barred frog. How cool is that? That's them right there. How cool. I think this is a really good board that sums up kind of what I was talking about with amphibians and how they are so susceptible to all these things like pollution, habitat loss, and where they breathe through their skins and things like that. Frogs take a lot of stuff through their skins, pollutants, all the chemicals and stuff really harm them, the habitat loss. They just don't bounce back as quick. Then obviously the citrid fungus. But this is really cool to see, and this is why it's so important to have frog conservation while amphibians. So yeah, that's so cool. This facility is really something else. Up there you have the venom program, and then over here you've got the frog breeding facility as well. And they've got really nice facilities in there so you can view the frogs, but you also see how they look as tadpoles and things like that as well. So this is so cool. Yeah, check it out. Endangered turtle breeding facility. You've got all these tanks. Oh my days, look how cute that is. Probably won't be able to see, but in the water there you've got these little turtles. They've got all these tubs. See, this one's kind of coming out a little bit. Let's see. Oh, you can kind of see his head just there. Oh, there he goes. But yeah, this is so cool. They've got all these tanks with all the turtles. In here, they've got an adult one in there, but in here, they've got some more tanks. Yeah, it's so cool. Like, I think these facilities are really important for the conservation of these animals. So it's so cool to see these. Got some chilling on the side there. Some really nice big enclosures as well. They're really cool. This is something really special. Komodo Dragon Centre. And here at the Australia Reptile Park, they were initially the only people that had successfully bred the Komodo dragons. Now I believe the Australia Zoo have managed to do it, but these guys were the leaders in that conservation forum. So let's see if we can have a sneak peek. So the Australia Reptile Park were the first to successfully breed the Komodo dragons here in Australia, creating rich insurance populations, meaning that essentially they produced backup group of animals that help maintain the species' survival if populations were to decline in the wild. Komodo dragons are listed as endangered animals, so it's important to try everything to protect this species. They're considered to be the largest lizards on Earth, reaching upwards to over 3 meters in length and weighing over 70 kgs. his big old boy Elvis, he's out and about. He is gigantic. You would not want to get grabbed by him, that's for sure. He is way bigger in person than he ever looks on camera. These crocs are so, like, it's incredible to think that all they need is just that little bit pointing out of the water, just so you can see how he's breathing there with his nose. His nose is the only thing, his nose and his eyes are the only things that need to be above water. They're just the absolute top predator. Ambush predators, so stealthy. Biggest crocodiles in the world, the saltwater crocodile. Apparently he's Australia's crankiest croc. Look at those eyes. Damn. Wow. That is one good looking croc.
It was this long, tiny little thing, pretty well defenceless, coming out, might have hung around with mum for a couple of weeks, 2 months, and then boom, into the wild he went to fend for himself. And pretty amazing they survived those odds and they become the largest living reptile on planet Earth today. Alright, so very impressive, the old salty. The males are the ones that get big, the females are much smaller. Alright, they max out at about 2.5, maybe 3 metres in length. Where the boys, unique individuals, can get over 5 metres. The biggest one ever recorded, 6 metres, 17 centimetres, weighing over 1,000 kilos. Alright, that is a big animal. Biggest reptile in modern day that's ever been recorded. Okay. Out of your crocodilians in general, there's 27 recognised species of true crocodiles, alligators and caiman and Ugario. Obviously they're the biggest, and there's only about 6 that get big enough to see you as a food source. Alright. A bit of a rundown on what to do. The aim of the game is not to die, so cameras out guys. If anything's going to go wrong, now is when it will happen. Alright, so what she's doing is she's just luring Elvis over, and at the moment he'd just be thinking he's coming over for a bit of food. But you watch when he pops his head up, it's really funny with these big wild caught males. They're really put off by new keepers. Alright, it sounds funny, but you've got to build a bit of a relationship with the big fella. Sometimes he doesn't even feed for people, so yeah, showing that food. Sometimes he does absolutely nothing when there's someone new there. Alright, so just keep it nice and still, draw him out. Yeah, oh, he's going to come out here. Have a got the size of his head, would ya? And watch her lose it first go. Hey! Good work, mate. Alright, that's how you feed a crocodile. Well done, Selena. Alright. Yeah, so when you're working with new crocodiles, you've got to sort of build up a relationship with them. It's quite bizarre. You'd think this thing would just come running out and want to tear it in half, but they're a bit sort of, hey, what's going on here? They're very sus on new people. Alright. You get a bit of a look at him here. While he's got his head up, you'll notice his head is friggin' big. Alright. Quite lumpy, and he has massive teeth. Alright. So the teeth are, some are huge, some are small, they're conical in shape, they're long and pointed, but they are not sharp, alright? They are more designed for gripping into prey. So what these animals do, is you would have noticed when he was cruising around under the surface there was no ripples, alright? So how they cut through the water like that, big lumps and bumps across his back, they're called osteoderms, they're a floating bone plate under the surface of the skin. Looks like they're slightly offset, so when he's below the surface, he can be literally a centimetre below, cruising through, no disturbance. You imagine in low light conditions or murky water, you would have no idea. Right, so I can be 50 metres away, walking towards the water's edge. He can be completely submerged sitting on the bottom, and he can pick up on that. He can use like a sonar to guide his way to where he thinks you're going to come down to the water. Alright, and yeah, they just set themselves up in that ambush position, ready to rumble. Alright, and when they splash out of the water and bite you, they bite you with the hardest bite on the planet. Even a fella this size, he's biting down at about 3,500 pounds per square inch. Alright, the real big ones, those 5.5+ metre animals, can literally do 5,000 pounds per square inch. Alright, hardest bite known to mankind. Alright, so good at concealing themselves in the environment that they live in. It's what they do best. Alright, they just go unnoticed. Alrighty, so I'm going to bring him over here, see if we can get a better look at him. He's looking pretty relaxed this afternoon. At the moment, we are in breeding season for our crocodilians. So his cousins out in the world there would be traversing the coastlines, going to the different rivers and creeks, looking for as many girls as they possibly can, mating, punching on with boys, and completing that cycle. And then with the onset of the wet season, the females will start scratching up nest sites. Big mound, they're mound builders, this species. Look at the size of them, would you? Yeah, they're mound builders. Big mound builders. And then when they're ready, the females come up, deposit a big clutch of eggs in there, it can be 40 to 60. And that's that. Good man. Alright, let's give him a round of applause. What a crocodile. Look at the size of him. That's what I give him a cuddle. Alrighty, so that is going to be it for the crocodile show.
This guy here is a baby Elvis. Look at him. He's not the biggest, but check him out. What a cool croc. Can't believe that these guys start off so small and then become these big man-eaters. They can eat some pretty big things. Crazy. And then here you got the alligator. So you can see like between that, so this is what I was explaining before. You can tell on the snout there that they've got a very triangular, narrow snout. Compared to the alligator over here, you can see they've got a much broader snout, much wider snout. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. But check this guy out. Look how cool he is. He's also just a baby, just a juvenile. They can get pretty big. Wow. Check out this Parenti. Wow. That is incredible. What a lizard. That's insane. Wow. That is one sick lizard. Oh, look at that. It's stunning. So that's a reticulated python. Look at the colors, they're iridescent. This is the world's longest snake, so the biggest snake would be the reticulated python. You find these guys in Asia. This is another one of my favorites that we'll definitely be finding at some stage. These guys are endemic to the Cape York region, but this is a green tree python. These are the iconic snakes that you see coiling up on branches, have this really cool coiling pattern that they do and how they sit. What a sick snake. Yeah, we're definitely a lot of these snakes we're going to be finding in the wild one day, so stay tuned. Thanks guys for joining into another episode, and going through some of my favourite moments from the Australia Reptile Park. Man, it was such a dream come true, and I'm so privileged to have been able to go and check it out. Again, a huge shout out to Bill and his team at the Australia Reptile Park. Man, I had the best time, and yeah, I can't thank them enough for all their hospitality and education that was passed on. The insight of what happens at the zoo, it was incredible. So definitely make sure you guys go check it out for yourselves. Man, they've got so much knowledge there and so much history to that zoo. So it was a privilege to go and see that and learn it firsthand. But yeah guys, if you haven't already, drop a like, drop a comment. Love to hear your thoughts, and yeah, I hope you guys have a good one.